A very good morning to one and all. How are you? I hope you all are fine. As you all know, our MCP week is going on and we are on lesson 9, Cars and Kites. We have already done the new words of this lesson in the notebook. We have completed the book exercise of the same. Today we are going to do RTC in the notebook. RTC is reference to context, which is given on page number 80 of your Amber book. You can refer your Amber book. On page number 80 it is given. Side by side, open your notebook. We are going to do RTC. I will explain you the questions and you have to write it in your notebook. Remember, don't do any spelling mistakes and write neatly in your notebook. But before starting with the RTC, let me first take a short summary of the lesson. What this lesson is about. I already explained you the whole lesson. Who is the main character in the lesson? Yes, Danny. Danny is a 5-year-old child who is fond of cars and engines. Why he was fond of cars and engines? Yes, because his father was a fine mechanic. His father was a fine mechanic and his father used to be in the car workshop all the time as he was having no option. So he used to take Danny with him to the workshop. When Danny was a toddler, when he was a baby, he used to go with his father to the car workshop. And there he used to play around in the workshop. That car workshop was his playground. And what were his toys? His toys were the tools and the parts of the car engine. Like the greasy, cogs, pistons, springs, crankshaft. All these are the toys of the Danny. Yes, he played with it and by the time passed, as he grew up, he got fond of cars and engines. And when he grew up, he started helping his father in repairing the car. When he was 5 years old, he was supposed to go to school, but his father said that you will go to school after 2 years. That is at the age of 7. He went to school at the age of 7. And by that time, he worked with his father, he helped his father and he learned how to take the small part of the engines and join them together and put them back. So he learned all that thing practically so that he can be a best mechanic in the whole world. So he enjoyed his father's company. Why so? Because his father and him both have the same interest. Okay, his father was Sparky. Sparky means interesting, funny. So he was never bored with his father. He always enjoyed his father's company. His father made the toys or the machines for him using the waste materials. The best out of waste you must have heard. Okay, so his father used to make the engines or the machines with the waste materials and he used to enjoy and play with that. So this is how he enjoyed his whole year with his father and he was excited to be 9. Why so? Because he thought that being a 9-year-old child would be more exciting than this. So the whole lesson is that the father and the child both enjoyed each other's company and Danny looked after his father for each and everything. Now let's start with today's work. I hope you all have prepared your book, notebook and all the required materials for the notebook work. Please start your notebook work. Be vigilant while writing. Don't do any spelling mistakes and write neatly in your notebook. Let's get started. Everyone mention today's date and classwork at the top of the page. Then write lesson number, that is lesson 9, and lesson name, Cars and Kites. Write all the questions with the black pen and all the answers with the blue pen. Then write B part, read these extracts and answer the questions. Refer page 80. You can open your Amber book and refer page number 80 for the questions. The first question is, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So, do you know where this phrase was spoken? This was told by Danny. When it was told? It was told when his father asked him that, do you love working with engines? So Danny said that yes, I absolutely love it. So who said this to whom? Danny said this to his father. The answer is Danny said this to his father. Now come to the next question. Which work was being talked about? Here Danny is saying, I absolutely love it. So which work Danny loved to do? The work of fixing small engines. Danny loved fixing small engines and working with engines. So here the answer is the work of fixing small engines is being talked about. Now come to C part. Why do you think the speaker absolutely loved what he did? Why Danny loved doing what he did? Means why he is in love with engines. The speaker absolutely loved engines. Why? Because his father was a fine mechanic and he had grown up by being there with his father in his workshop. And he began his training from his childhood. He started helping his father since childhood. So this is why he loved working with engines. So the answer is the speaker absolutely loved what he did because he had grown up in the workshop and had begun his training to become a mechanic from birth. He enjoyed working on engines with his father. Now come to the next question. Question 2 is, it will if the wind doesn't drop. Do you remember when this phrase was told and where it was told? Yes, when Danny and his father decided to fly the kite, they went upward towards the hills. But then they both decided to come downwards towards their caravan. So the father told Danny to tie the string of the kite to the steps of the caravan. So when he tied the string to the steps, he asked his father, will it still fly high in the sky? So the father said, it will if the wind doesn't drop. So who said this to whom? Yes, the answer is Danny's father said this line to Danny. And what was it here? About which thing they are talking? Yes, they are talking about a kite. It was a kite. Where was it? It was tied to the step of Danny's caravan and it was swinging in the sky. Question C is, did the wind drop? What happened next? So if you remember, when Danny woke up next day, he saw the kite was still there in the sky, flying high in the sky. So the wind didn't drop the kite. And after having the breakfast, Danny pulled down the kite and hung it in his workshop. So did the wind drop? No, the wind did not drop. And what happened next? The kite stayed up in the blue sky all night and the next morning. So this is the end of RTC. We will continue the question answers, which is answer the questions briefly, tomorrow. Please complete your work on time. So this is it for today. We have done the RTC in the notebook. The PDF of the same will be sent to you on communication. Please download it and complete your work on time. Don't forget to write date and class code before starting your work. And we will meet in the next class with the next work. As there is too cold outside, so please be safe, wear warm clothes. We'll meet in the next class. Goodbye.